the first to know. Nsem-Pii TV.
We are live from Nsem-Pii Hotel. Ya ewo enkran. Nsem-Pii Hotel. Ya ewo enkran. Na jumadi ya koso wo ho. In fact, jumadi na fe ye papa. The signing of the peace pact. Now, obi abegya to say we are on the home stretch to the December 7th general election. Should I say, mra aka wo yanim na Ghana fo akwa bato so akwakire wanhwe no britia bi enti no say oye athlete enka bra adrei bra say ode ye running up of onyoma wasua nyina any exercise ni various training regimes ya wafamu nyina over the past period of years. Sabepepe and your politicians no going into the December 7th general elections. Now in every elections, adia very important the sign of peace pact. Krata na muma bia ye to ho emma amanyo semwa kansifo nyina de won sa hyase say ye pritu mi die nenso no o minor sumdue no man no kanko ene ye nyina ni so ade hu. And that is an absolute fact that peace, unity, and tranquility should be the utmost desire of every politician in this country going into the December 7th general elections. Enuti, ulo ni chilemo Nsem-Pii, sesia ye kaseya, the flag bearer of the new patriotic party, His Excellency Dr. Mahama Ewoho, the flag bearer of the NDC, former President His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Ewoho, afe chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Emma Jane Adukwe Mensa Ewoho, afe the Chief Justice, Her Ladyship Justice Gertrude Araba SL Tukonu Ewoho, the Inspector General of Police Dr. George Ekufu Dampare Ewoho. Now the Peace Council is heavily represented by clergymen and afe the National Chief Imam Sheikh Dr. Osman Nuhu Shaributu. And so ewo Jumedia Nasibia. It is a power packed program. Ya ekoso ewo Nsem-Pii. Na ni nyina mu no, it is giving a certain headline to this country say we are for peace, we are for unity, we are for tranquility. Tiyanko ni yanko he sadie mpanimfo yi esi wura mu na ye bo national anthem no, mo di boni ni die ma anthem no. Ye wi a komodia mpanimfo nyina editu dwa about ensuring that peace prevails in this country. And so yeah, they don't so atoms.
Law and order for the rest of the period of the election, the post-election period, and beyond. So that our beloved country, which is the only one that we can come in and out without a visa, will continue to be at peace with itself, because there is no place like home. And with this commitment, we want to let you know that we will not be, and I want to emphasize, we will not be the source or allow ourselves to be the source of any disturbances that will corrupt the peace that we cherish so much. And we also urge all the stakeholders to also play their part so that they are also not the source or allow themselves to be the source of anything that disturbs the peace of this country. Because the country, we are holding it in trust for the next generation. As our forebears held it in trust, and their departure, they left it in our hands to keep it in safe, in peace, for it to be handed over to the next generation. We cannot, Your Excellencies, we cannot disappoint. and we cannot disappoint them. With that said, we want to tell you that this pledge that we've made, it is not mere words. It has been very intentional and purposeful. Why do we say so? When we assumed office as a team, we decided to find out what has been the issue, that all the time whenever election is conducted, there are violence, there are tensions to a level that keeps all of us on counterfeits. So we decided to do a baseline analysis. And upon that analysis, we realized that there are a lot of lessons to be learned. And then going forward, that the lessons will be used to inform our strategies towards providing security during elections. The first lesson that we learned was that we have failed to mainstream election security. And therefore, election security is always seen, Your Excellencies, as an event inside of a process. And by that action alone, how can you get up in the next day and do something and go to sleep and then come back again wanting to do it? We are always starting afresh as if we have not done it before. So we decided to mainstream election security with the establishment of a permanent department for purposes of managing elections in this country. And by this, I mean all elections, even including school and church elections. So that at the end of the day, election security becomes part of policing and part of security in this country. And this is what we have been able to achieve. In addition to that, realize that there was no blueprint for looking at election security holistically and strategically beyond one election. So we decided also to develop a blueprint that will take care of elections for the next 30 years to come. So as we speak, we have a blueprint in place that will deal with our elections for the next 30 years to come and beyond. And by that action alone, we are demonstrating to the whole Ghanaians and the generality of Africa and the world that we, from the security point of view, have decided by our action, by that document, looking forward for elections in the next 30 years, mainstreaming our democratic dispensation so that there is no turning back in this democratic journey. With that done, let me briefly let you know the things we put in place with all this strategic focus into the elections. First, if you want to see the results that are coming out from this baseline analysis, from this mainstreaming of election security, and from this holistic blueprint towards election in the next 30 years, these are the records. On our watch, we have had 3 major by-elections. And we did not pass the verdict. You did. And said that those by-elections, in terms of its peace, security, and orderliness, it was first of its kind in the history of our democratic dispensation. That is the result of making sure that you re-examine your strategies and change course, because you cannot continue to do the same thing over and over and over again and expect different results. Again, Your Excellencies, with the same implementation of the blueprint, you've seen that you virtually gave all your internal elections to us. And all the political parties, with no exception, comes to us and say that it is in your hands, police and the other security agencies. We don't even want any of our internal security people to play any role. And the assurance that even we got, which gave us a lot of comfort, and also a registration of confidence in us, is that if anybody comes around and mess up, deal with him or her in accordance with law. Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Dr. Mahama Baumia, the Chief Justice, the Ladyship Justice Gertrude Tokonu, the Chairman of the National Peace Council, Reverend Dr. Nsem-Pii, and allow me to proceed on the protocol that has been well established in order to save time. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and fellow citizens, I've come here today to place on record my personal commitment and that of my party, the National Democratic Congress, to the sustenance of Ghana's peace. At the very outset, let me indicate that we in the NDC remain eternally committed to the building of a peaceful and prosperous country in which the aspirations of all our people can be met. Our active participation in this event is an indication of its importance in the overall effort to guarantee peace and ensure the preservation of our nation in the aftermath of the upcoming elections. We cannot emphasize enough the importance of maintaining peace throughout this process, before, during, and after. Peace is the foundation upon which our democracy is built, and it is essential that we preserve it even during these critical times. We're all too aware of the devastating consequences of electoral violence in other countries. We cannot afford to traverse that same path. As patriotic citizens, we have a collective responsibility to ensure that our country remains a beacon of peace and stability in our sub-region, and we in the NDC stand prepared to play our part to achieve this. As citizens, we must recognize that our actions have consequences. While some verbal jousting is to be expected in our daily politicking, divisive language, hate speech, and inflammatory rhetoric that can incite violence should have no place. Temperance, tolerance, understanding, and respect for one another's opinions and beliefs should be the guiding principle upon which our politics is practiced. On our part, as political leaders, we must prioritize peace and unity in our campaigns and avoid unsubstantiated allegations and focus on issue-based campaigning. We must compete on ideas and not on insults. To our security agencies, I commend you for your tireless efforts in maintaining law and order, and I urge you to remain impartial and professional in your duties, ensuring that all citizens can exercise their right to vote without fear or intimidation. To our media practitioners, I encourage you to promote balanced and accurate reporting, and we must avoid misleading the electorate by deceiving them that some parties are going to vote on one day and others are going to vote on another day. We must avoid sensationalism and speculation and focus on providing credible information that promotes peace and understanding. I also wish to commend the Electoral Commission for the cooperation we have enjoyed so far, and it is my hope that all electoral officers will conduct themselves in a manner that is impartial and neutral in order to avoid any disputes. However, it is all well and good for us to commit to peace and recite beautiful platitudes. All the efforts at building peace before, during, and after the 2024 elections would come to naught or be undermined if there is mistrust and insincerity. Mistrust is built through a mismatch between words and gaslighting on the part of those in authority.
Now I would like to call on His Excellency Dr. Mahama and NDC, Vice President of the Republic of Ghana and Presidential Candidate of the New Patriotic Party.
Thank you very much. Eminent clergy, the National Chief Imam Sheikh Dr. Osman Nur Sharibotu, His Excellency the former President John Dramani Mahama, Her Ladyship Justice Gertrude Araba Esabasaki Tokono, His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Ibn Chambers, African Union High Representative for Silencing Guns, Mrs. Jean Adukwei Mensah, Chair of the Electoral Commission, presidential candidates here present, the Reverend Ernest Nsem-Pii, Board Chairman of the National Peace Council, Mr. George Amo, Executive Secretary of the National Peace Council, Dr. Emmanuel Akweti, Executive Director of IDEC, Dr. George Akufo-Dampare, the IGP, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Nime, Name, Nananum, traditional rulers, distinguished invited guests, friends of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Since the dawn of the Fourth Republic in the early 90s, Ghana has been a model democracy and an inspiration to many across the African continent and beyond. This feat is not by chance. It is due to the continuous efforts of our leaders, institutions, and citizens who understand the value of peace as the bedrock of national progress. In this light, it is fitting for us to show appreciation to the National Peace Council, the Institute of Democratic Governance, IDEC, and all who worked tirelessly to ensure we are here today. As we acknowledge the efforts of others, we must also endeavor to contribute our due. That is why the signing of the 2024 Presidential Peace Pact is profoundly significant. Every general election in Ghana since 1992 has had its own dynamics, and the stakes are always high, but we have never turned our backs on democracy, because that is the path we have chosen for ourselves, and it is the right way to go. Admittedly, democracy goes beyond periodic elections. However, in relatively young democracies like ours, every election presents an opportunity to reaffirm our commitment to the Constitution and the rule of law. So far, each time we head to the polls, we have passed the test. We have shown that it is possible to rise above our differences and unite for the sake of our country. As we head into the December 2024 polls, the 9th presidential election in Ghana, 9 days from today, I am certain of two outcomes. Ghana will win and peace will reign. We have been here before and can prove again that Ghana is a shining example of a resilient democracy. As we approach the home stretch for the elections 2024, my plea to everybody involved in the electioneering process, including candidates, political parties, electoral officers, voters, the media, security, and the general public, is to take responsibility for ensuring peace and harmony seriously, and to demonstrate that we are not reluctant Democrats. My hope, and that of the NPP, is that we will come out of this election stronger as a nation. We are hopeful all sides will take some positive steps to preserve the unity, peace, and stability of this country. We owe our people, particularly the teeming youth, that duty of care. Only in this way would our resolve to create better and enduring opportunities for this future and for the future generations be guaranteed. The eyes of the world are on Ghana. The world is watching, hoping Ghana will rise again to the occasion, stand tall and shine bright as the star of Africa. I am full of hope that all of us leaders and our followers will live up to the peace pact we are going to sign today. And I encourage the security services who are doing an excellent job, and the media and all stakeholders to do all they can to ensure and preserve the peace. I would like to end by emphasizing that the only reason we seek power is to use it to deliver prosperity to the people of this country. I therefore wholeheartedly pledge my commitment to working within the rules and to collaborate with all to ensure a peaceful election. I extend love to all my opponents and invite them to let us collectively show love to the people of Ghana by embracing civil and peaceful approaches during every phase of the electioneering process. Finally, I would like to share this quote from Mahatma Gandhi, and I quote, "The day the power of love overrules the love for power, the world will know peace." I stand for peace and development. Peace is possible. Thank you for your attention. God bless you, and God bless our homeland Ghana.